I'm going to be very honest with you, as I normally try to be. I've been spending far too much time worrying about a lot of things which are important, but not as important as what I think is one of the most critical battles that we as a society have, and that is against evil. And I can't think of any other way other than to call it evil. Evil, especially by virtue of what we've seen with Epstein. I mean, I can't believe what I'm reading. I can't believe that I share DNA with these people. I can't believe that with all that is going on that has been presented to us, especially after we begged and implored President Trump and everybody to release the files, we're seeing this, and we're seeing everything up to and including sacrificial rights of children and up to and including vivisection, and we're not doing anything about it. We're talking about Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. I mean, think about that for a moment. It's just I don't even know what to say. And it occurred to me, and what I want you to hear from me is that we must understand that there are moments in history when a society, as we are right now, is confronted with evidence of evil so grotesque that it should permanently alter our moral compass. Scandals involving the exploitation of children and vulnerable women fall into that category. And I want to remind everybody of it. They expose not only individual criminality, but also a systemic blind spot. Failures of oversight and uncomfortable truths about power. And yet, one of the most disturbing patterns is how quickly even the most shocking revelations can fade into the background noise so quickly as though it never happened. How we're able to recover and ignore it confounds me. Human beings, all of us, possess a remarkable capacity for habituation, for becoming used to things, conditioned to things. We don't notice them anymore. What initially horrifies us can, through repetition and media saturation, become just another headline competing for attention. That's it. Psychologists have called this habituation, of course, but they've long studied this process. You see, repeated exposure to something disturbing information and data, it dulls the emotional response. And the brain, seeking equilibrium, normalizes what once felt unthinkable. In the context of large exploitation scandals, this adaptation is dangerous, very dangerous, and we're seeing it right now. It risks turning moral outrage into some kind of passive awareness. Oh, yes, that's terrible. Now let's move on. When societies become habituated to stories of abuse, the consequences extend beyond emotional fatigue. Public attention is a finite resource. Policy priorities and funding decisions and institutional reforms often follow the arc of media focus. And if collective attention kind of drifts away, so does the pressure to pursue accountability and responsibility and structural change. And this doesn't require a conspiracy or coordinated effort. Nope. It is a predictable feature of modern information systems. Systems and ecosystems, that word again, where novelty drives engagement. Look what's happening with Epstein. See, there's a deeper ethical dimension that reminds us of this. Exploitation scandals force a confrontation of all of us with uncomfortable and sick questions about how power operates. They reveal networks of influence, depraved influence, social deference, looking the other way to status, and the ways in which vulnerable populations can be marginalized or ignored. And it's our duty to protect them. It's our duty to protect children and women and people. That's right, women. That's right. Chivalry. Yeah, I said it. And we've just forgotten it. When the initial shock fades, when all kind of we become used to it, so to speak, habituated, there's a temptation to retreat into, the familiar narratives that restore a sense of normalcy. And this retreat can function as a kind of collective self-protection. And it also allows daily life to continue without the burden of sustained moral reckoning and coming to grips with what's happening. The risk also is that habituation that we talk about breeds complacency. And complacency is not neutrality. It's an active condition in which urgent issues are quietly forgotten, deprioritized. That sounds better. In the realm of child protection, and the prevention of exploitation, complacency carries a measurable human cost. Research we find in criminology and public health consistently and historically has shown that sustained public engagement correlates with a stronger reporting mechanisms, with better victim support services, and a more vigorous and rigorous enforcement of protective laws. This is our duty. This is what we have to pay attention to right now. And by the way, there's another layer of concern that involves the broader cultural conversations that exploitation scandals ignite. And that's that debates about ethics and science and technology and social policy often intersect with fears and concerns and trepidations about dehumanization. Discussions about reproductive technologies and bioethics and demographic theory can become charged because they touch on fundamental questions about human dignity. Human dignity. When framed responsibly, these debates of ours are essential. I want you to understand something very, very simply, and this is why it means so much to me. In the course of our attempts to do the right thing, sometimes we allow other people to collect and collate and curate, I should say, the news. We have right now the ability, because of this thing called social media, because of ChatGPT and others, we're able to find any news that we want. We're able to frame, just like Spotify allows us to come up with a music list, we're able to come up with a news list. And we're able to see what we want to hear, and we're able to look for that. But instead, most people say, no, and I don't know why. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just let cable news tell me. What I have seen in the Epstein case defies anything I ever thought even remotely possible. I never thought human beings, I never thought human societies could ever allow this. And it's as though we're screaming for the files to be released. The files are released, and we forget. We look the other way. It's, again, the fact that we have the attention span of a gnat. It's like Gore Vidal says, we are the United States of amnesia. Everything that we've talked about before, very important. The Super Bowl, Bad Bunny, concomitant, parallel Super Bowl halftimes. That's interesting. It's important. Politics. Yeah, it's important. Even this very sad story about this poor woman, Nancy Guthrie, who most probably is dead. That's absolutely just it's captivated us. I'm thinking, why? With all due respect to her, how can you have surrogacy mills? How can you have a fellow like like Epstein and others, acting almost like they're Malthusian eugenicists trying to build and to create supreme breeding pools. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding you. It's funny. Everything that we thought rich and powerful, the demented people do, diabolical, we thought that was just written about by some imaginative, fecund, fertile imagination writer, when in fact that documented exactly what these people think about. They consider themselves to be better than you, but superior to all of us, and that they can manipulate us like we can manipulate animals and breed animals. We mean nothing to them. And where they prey first is our children. This is where they've always done it. And we have been looking the other way. And we have got to stop this. Got to stop it. I'm not saying everything else. Look, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that are important. And it truly is. A lot of things. A lot of stories that I find fascinating, personally interesting to me. But the bottom line, as I see the horrors of what's going on with Epstein, I thought, I can't believe, and I say this all the time, that we share DNA with these people. I can't believe that these individuals have gone through so much of an effort, so much of a structured effort to systematically collect these people, find these people, house these people, and use them for our own pleasure. And then when we're done with them, we're done. We don't know the full extent of what happened. We'll never find out. We will never find out. And unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be any prosecutions. But that doesn't mean that we can't do it. And this is what I want to leave you with. We have the power right now by virtue of what we do, by virtue of our platform. We have the power to fight this habituation, to get rid of it, to basically remove it, and to find ourselves in the position where we can, by virtue of our bully pulpit, we can let people know what happened. We can do this. And we can show people that we will never, ever, ever forget this. And that with our platforms and our big mouths and our people and our notables, in some of these shows that you watch, in one show, one episode, they get more than CNN may get in a month. If we all work collectively, seriously, we can shame them. We can make the whole world aware of what's going on. Because I got news for you. Our brothers and sisters, our Americans, sorry to say, many of them are too lazy, too torpid, too sedentary to get off their ass and to investigate this. And all they have to do is just, like I said, just mention something either through ChatGPT. Just ask every day, what's the latest news regarding? There's some information going on right now. There's some lawsuits going on regarding lawsuits against companies that basically utilize the idea of these ISPs and these functions and these programs as being addictive. And they've been looking at these almost the way products liability work, the idea of a product being put into the stream of commerce. And kids today are targeted by this. I can't say it enough. So I just don't want to belabor the point. I don't want to browbeat. I don't want to say you should be, but I'm guilty too. I do it. I forget. Sometimes there are certain things that are fun, and there are topics that I think they're important, but they're more titillating than critical. We have got to redirect our focus and our attention towards children. Absolutely, positively. And we have to take what we're learning with Epstein and seriously act accordingly. I can't be any more serious. I can't. I know sometimes people say this, when they do these presentations, they're very, very, demonstrative and very, very, very plaintive as they plead and they elicit and they beseech and importune and ask and listen to me. I mean it. I have never been more serious about this in our life. We as human beings owe it to humankind, seriously, to teach these bastards a lesson and never let them off the hook. Please like this video. Please subscribe. I ask you this. Please also, if you could in your word, answer the questions that I've got accordingly. I've got some great questions, which I want to bring to your attention. Great questions. And I thank you. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for being a part of this. And thank you for just letting me into your heart and in your mind just for a while to give you my idea of what I think is relevant. That's all. Now comment as you see fit.